Good to see you.
Alright there, Revenants, welcome back to Code Vein, and today I'd like to share a little bit of my thoughts on the Impulse Anchor. I've been trying for a long time to find where and why and when this weapon is so great and why it should be so great. It's not really, but it does have one thing about it that is far above and beyond almost any weapon out there that is in Code Vein. And I'd like to share it with you today. And what we're going to be looking at is EOS. And the reason this is so ridiculous is because of the charge attack on the Impulse Anchor when it's paired with statuses. So if you've ever wondered when and where and why this weapon kind of exists, in my opinion, this is like the ultimate way to use it is going in versus bosses and just destroying them before they have a chance to do anything. So this weapon, when it does a charge attack, we'll go over all this at the dummy, but when it does a charge attack, it does 3 attacks, and each one of those attacks does a status effect. So if you have status effects placed on your status gifts placed on your weapon, each one of those effects applies 3 times every time you do a charge attack. And if you have something like charge accelerator, time crunch, and a charge booster, you can increase those charge attacks immensely fast. So we'll go through a couple of the bosses here, and you'll get an idea of just how ridiculous this is. Now we have impact wave just for more damage for fun, because when the hammer comes down and hits the ground, it does a shockwave, so that also does stagger. Now this weapon does crush damage when you do. I had it wrong in the past. It does crush damage. And now when you do crush damage, you also have a good chance to stagger folks. So you have crush damage coming down. You have 3 attacks, plus you have the impact wave. So you're doing 4 attacks basically in one hit. And it's incredible. And then you have concentration for less stamina reduction, 33% stamina reduction. So that's very, very nice. And you have debuff buildup, opportunism, and swift destruction will pair with mobility enhancer and charge accelerator, obviously, to get faster charge attacks off. So we'll go through a couple of these here, and you'll see the awkward kind of rotation here on the gifts as well, as it is kind of you have to kind of leave gifts out in a strange kind of way here. Okay, good. And we'll go for this. Okay. Okay. And you see how it's kind of a strange rotation here. Overall, I probably didn't need uh, that other item there. Okay, and this, and we'll go for this, and let's go in. Okay, and we'll let him attack, and we'll go for our attacks now. And you see there that, oops, stop jumping away. I've never seen him jump away from me. He knows what's coming. There we go. And yeah, it just ends, folks. If they can be stunned or staggered heavy, this is absolutely brutal for them. It doesn't quite work on the butterfly because she can only be slowed, and that's the only status effect that she can take is slow. So it's not incredibly overwhelming for her. But for most of the other bosses, it's incredible how much damage you can get out and how fast you can kind of put enemies into the ground without even really trying. And the poison is nice because it gives you an extra 15% damage that you don't need to worry about. So that's already given because they're poisoned. So if they last 30 seconds, then you'll get a really, really nice use out of it there. Okay. If they last longer than 30 seconds, then it's kind of not really worth it. But we'll see here how we do. And because you're hitting the enemy so much, you get all the ichor back that you need to do the attack. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay. So yeah, goodbye, Executioner. Where's the exit? Okay, and we'll snap our way out of here. So you can see that the impact wave also helps to stagger, and then the massive amounts of stun at the very beginning start the flood of devastation that comes after them. Now the Despot is a little bit more difficult because he has about I forget what it is, 130,000 HP or so. So he does have a huge health pool as compared to the other two bosses that we've fought so far. But it's still not outside of the realm of possibility here. Of course, it's not because I love doing awesome things here in Code Vein, and being able to devastate these bosses this way with the Impulse Anchor is just such a smile to my face, because the Impulse Anchor is one of those things that you really don't get into it too much. Where's the stun? Okay, until much later in the game, so that's kind of unfortunate, but that's okay. Okay. And you can see there that he has a little more resistance to stun. Okay. Oh, and we missed. Okay, we'll go for this. Okay. And he's down anyways, so it doesn't even matter. Okay. And on to the next one. So you can see there that it just it's kind of a makes a joke out of almost every boss, because the charge attack, like I said, it does 3 attacks, and each one of those is applying all of the statuses. So you can see that all these enemies were poisoning them in one hit. So from the very beginning of the fight, the enemy starts out poisoned, and because they stay poisoned, we get the bonus from opportunism basically the entire fight, which is really nice, because if we didn't have that, that's a huge amount of damage that we would be missing out on, and so we don't want to be missing out on damage. It's in our best interest to keep them poisoned as long as possible. You can start to get an idea here of the rotation on how to apply the gifts and such. Okay. I'm kind of doing them out of order a little bit here and there, but that's okay. Okay, this is done. Okay, good. And if you can remember to apply a stun cartridge halfway through the fight or so, then that's even better. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now Nicola, because he is such a beefy boy, he does take a little bit more, but it still doesn't matter because the amount of damage, stagger, and stun is just a little bit overwhelming. But he is very strong to crush damage, and since we're doing a bunch of crush damage, it's really bad for us, but it still doesn't stop it in any kind of way. Now the what is this guy? The Gilded Hunter. He's very strong to crush damage as well, and if we wanted to go for a little bit more damage, we could probably go for maybe an alleviated noble silver. Can we do that? Yeah, we could go for an alleviated noble silver for a little bit more damage here. So that's very nice. We'll do that. Okay, and let's go through the rotation again. And the nice thing is that the only thing you're changing is blood sacrifice at the beginning here, and that's it. You're not doing anything wild and wacky and crazy. Okay. And there's no crazy menuing amounts that you need to do. Okay. Okay. This. Okay. And this. And this one's kind of unfair but you know, but he had to go at some point. So that's the Gilded Hunter in about I don't know 6 seconds, 8 seconds, or whatever. It's not the fastest time. Obviously, you can one-shot the boy, but it's definitely a fun way to put him down quickly and easily. And you can't even almost blink because these guys disappear so quickly. But if I've ever wanted to use the impulse anchor, it is based in something like this, and this is what I think this charge attack was meant to do, was to be overwhelmingly devastating. And most of the times it's not, because you don't have the setup to continue this through some area like the cathedral or somewhere where you pick it up. So it's kind of a misnomer in a sense, because you get this awesome, powerful weapon, and then you can't really use it to its greatest effect until much later in the game. But you can use it. Okay, now let's see how this guy does. There we go. Okay, he's gonna go down. That's good. And he's stunned again. Okay, so a perfect fight there. Okay. And again, it's not very fast because most of the bosses have a 25% reduction to crush damage, so that's kind of not too helpful. Uh, but you can definitely smash through the enemies uh, pretty easily, pretty quickly. Now, for the Cannoneer and Blade Bear, obviously you don't want to be doing this versus them because they're very, very, very difficult. We're probably going to die in one hit here because of all the garbage gifting that they do all over the screen. But we can give it our best shot, and we'll kind of end it here. But we'll end the we'll end the montage here, I guess. Okay, so let's see if we can do it. Whoops, wrong button there. That's really, really unfortunate. Okay, so probably should just go back and start over because the rotation is messed up. You can see that the poison, the poison was Venomark was moving too quickly there, and we weren't going to be able to make it. Okay, so let's head back over here. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. But this build is actually really, really, really fun, just because of the fact that you can end bosses very, very, very quickly and pretty easily, actually. Now, I don't know if we'll have enough time on our side to actually go through each of the bosses here, but we'll see. We'll see what we can get through here. Okay, stun. There we go. And we'll go for the Blade Bearer first. Okay, he's gonna do that. I don't know what, yep, I don't know what he's doing. Okay. Okay, so she's gone. Let's get a charge booster here. Or charge accelerator. Charge booster. Same thing. Okay. Now we lost a whole lot of everything here, so that's really bad. And Jack and I are dead. So we lost stun, we lost poison, we lost a whole bunch of things there. So yeah, you can definitely grind through one of them, but getting to the second one is a real problem. But if you destroy, if you go through the regular, if you go through the regular game and don't do the depths here, you can absolutely use this against both of them and smash your way through, and it will be pretty simple because as you've seen, this tear apart all the other bosses. So let's go back to home base and let's see that that 3-hit combo there on the charge attack, just so we can see what's going on and we can understand kind of what's happening. So before we get into that, we'll take a look at the spreadsheet and we'll see exactly what's happening here, so we have a better appreciation what's happening. So where is this? Here we go, and there we go. Okay, so you can see here in the hammer group, the all the attacks and everything for the impulse anchor, and you can see that the charge attack, it's a 220% multiplier, and then it adds on another 100% of the card damage, and then you add on the scaling from the explosion, which the scaling comes from mind and willpower. So it acts like a projectile, so you can use something like ranged impact with it, but it's not a huge amount of the power of the charge attack, but you get basically this 320% damage here, and the 220% is the initial impact. The 100% is the basically the set into the ground, and then the scaling is the detonation. And so between the three of these, because they're all three separate attacks, each one of them counts as an attack for the each one of these attacks counts as an attack for these statuses to apply. So let's go back here to the bag, and we'll look at when that happens. So you'll see three numbers appear very, very, very quickly, and 1, 2, 3, and you could see there was the 3,000, and then there was like a 4,000, and then there was a 5,000. So let's try that again. Yeah, and the 4,000 is very, very quick. Yeah. So the 5170 is all three of them compared together. So see there, you're only getting 451 out of the charge explosion. Let's see if we can get a little closer. There we go. You're only getting 451. Now, if you go for something like cognitive zeal, that 451 will not go up, because it's like I said, it's scaling off of, where is the thing? It's scaling off of your mind and willpower, but because this doesn't have any scaling here, it doesn't affect it in any way. So you're stuck with that little bit of 451 there. Not for all the time, but if you change blood codes and do that same thing. Whoops. Okay. There we go. So it's kind of the way that thing is set up to be, and you can see here that our mind and willpower changed and everything, and even with cognitive zeal, it doesn't change anything. So it's that, but it does count as an attack. So let me backpedal there a little bit. So yeah, this thing, that attack, it's very, very little amount of damage, 451, but it counts as an attack, so it applies another attack of stun and poison, or inhibit, or slow, or whatever you're trying to do. So if you go for a stun weapon, because most of the time the bosses are strong to stun, so the more stun you can get, and most of them can be poisoned pretty easily. So all you need is Venom Mark and Venom Cartridge, and you should have plenty of Venom on your weapon here. Let's see what we get, and we are at 75 Venom. So that's still really, really, really good. It's not in any realm of you're not going to poison them in one hit. So because you're doing that 75 Venom 3 times in a row, you're basically tripling the amount of stun and basically the status effects that you're getting out. You're tripling that effect on top of the debuff buildup, which is a 20% increase, because here we have 15, and here now with debuff buildup we have 18. So 3 over 15 is 1/5, so that's 20%. So you can see that this thing, because of that 3-hit damage, it absolutely devastates everything. So if we go to the training area and we see it on the lost here in the training area, you can kind of get a better appreciation for those 3 hits, because if I'm actually attacking with stun, let's see here, 1, and it stuns him. Okay, and this guy's weaker to the stun. But you can see that you're not having an incredible effect on this guy, and he doesn't poison in one hit. So he poisons in 2 hits. So if I could poison him in 1 hit, that would be nice. And there he goes. So we'll go for a charge attack. And you can see there that he's poisoned in 1 hit. So that's where this craziness comes in. Very, very nice is that you can absolutely devastate these guys very, very quickly. Okay, so here we can see this. Yep, 14,000. So that's not too bad. And you can see that he stuns in the very first attack, and then the second attack and the third attack take him out of stun. But they're so fast. Oops. But they're so fast that he doesn't stun off of the third attack because he's in stagger state off of that. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. My most favorite is the Gilded Hunter because he's such a pain, and I can devastate him with this to where he can't even do anything. So he gets his first little charge attack in, and then he's over. So we'll end it here with a finale on this boy. And you could even do this with Louis if you wanted to go for like quick mobility or different things. So if you wanted to, have that not quick mobility mobility, but actually have the quick dash mechanic on your character, that could also be fun, and you wouldn't lose too much damage off of it as compared to what we're doing here, but it definitely is a fun thing. Okay, there we go. And let's see here. Okay. And it just warms my heart that the impulse anchor can be used to such great effect here. There we go. And it's just so much fun that this thing can be used to such a great degree, and it's running EOS. I mean, you wouldn't think EOS is kind of the powerhouse of a blood code to do something like this. Let's pick up our chemical lights just in case. You never know when you need those. So anyways, that's been me. That's been the impulse anchor and kind of my thoughts on it. Again, it's just such a niche kind of a weapon, and if it's a boss killing weapon, then I welcome it. And it's such a fabulous, fabulous boss killer. But again, if the bosses can't be stunned or poisoned or staggered very easily, then it kind of falls off because again you have to resort to other things like inhibit and slow, and sometimes that isn't exactly the best opportunity because you're messing with the enemy then moving around. But if you can continue to attack them with impact wave, they should be able to stagger over and over, so it's almost the equivalent of a stun. So try it out for yourselves, see what you think, and have fun destroying bosses in a very, very bizarre way. So we'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.